another special edition of Political Empire. I'm your host, Kim Pearsall with Press Enterprise and PE.com. And once again, we are talking with Ben Goad, our Washington correspondent, who now is in Charlotte, North Carolina for the Democratic National Convention. Ben, how's it going?
Going great.
Great. Ben was, of course, in Tampa, Florida all last week for the Republican National Convention. We checked in with him on a daily basis to see what was going on. And, of course, we're going to do that this time with the Democratic National Convention. And even though this video says day one, technically it started on Monday with bagels, cream cheese, orange juice, Nancy Pelosi, and, of course, some conventioneering. But, Ben, tell us what happened on that first day. It was kind of different from what the Republicans did in Tampa, Florida.
Right. Well, conventions are usually a four-day event culminating in the acceptance of the nomination. Democrats, because this one fell on a Labor Day week, decided to cut it short for a three-day convention, 2 days in the hall, 1 day at the Panthers football stadium a few blocks away. And then they decided to just sort of open up the streets of Charlotte and invite the town in for a day-long party with music and eating and fair food, and James Taylor played, and it was a hot, but I think a good time for a lot of people in Charlotte.
Fantastic. And a little bit of storms, because there can't be a convention without storms. Curious, the Republicans have already come out and made statements. The Republican National Committee chairman was out and made a statement, which you were at and videotaped. What did he have to say at the start of the Democratic convention?
Right. Well, you know, Republicans are really trying to frame the debate right now as are you better off right now than you were 4 years ago? That was sort of amplified over the weekend when Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley made some remarks where he conceded that Americans are not. You know, he went ahead and walked back those statements and saying, well, the reason they're not is still stemming from the Bush era policies, but Republicans have really seized on it, as you'll see in the clip.
Fantastic. We'll take a look at that.
I guess they're calling it the Not Bank of America Stadium. Another monthly jobs report is going to come out, and unfortunately, it is likely to show yet another month of Obama's failed policies. Today, the thrill and pixie dust of Barack Obama's presidency is gone. Americans feel no hope and have seen the change for the worse. Democrats are dispirited and enthusiasm is clearly on the Republican side. And it's for a simple reason. And the simple reason is, after 4 years of Barack Obama, we are not better off.
And Ben, curious, what's planned for tonight then? Because we've got Michelle Obama planning to speak, and we've got the mayor of San Antonio. And like you said, there's this theme now that's being framed of, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Is that going to play out tonight?
Yeah, you know, I think that's going to play out in all of the speeches for the next few days. I think you're going to hear Democrats saying over and over that the nation's economic problems stem from the Bush administration. And tonight, there is two interesting things. First off, there's a heavy California presence on the podium. Congressman Xavier Becerra, Los Angeles Mayor Antonia Villaraigosa, and others will take the stage, as well as Julian Castro, the San Antonio mayor, who is going to be doing the keynote address. And so you've got a lot of Californians and you've got a heavy Latino docket, and I think that's meant to really reach out to that block of voters who is going to be crucial come Election Day.
And speaking of Californians, of course, there was the issue that you mentioned in Tampa, Florida, where the delegates in the Republican National Convention had a bit of an issue with the shuttle bus not usually arriving on time and taking at least sometimes 2 hours in some circumstances to get to the convention. Sounds like the hotel for the Democratic National Convention for the Californians, not so great.
Right. Yeah. You know, and as we talked about in Tampa, that the delays, you know, like much, but when you're trying to rev up a crowd, it doesn't. In a place called the Blake Hotel, and it is apparently rife with problems. I'm not over there, but They've got cockroaches, wet paint everywhere. Apparently a portion of the hotel actually fell off the side of the building at one point.
Wait, a portion of the hotel fell off the side?
Interviews and discussions I'm having with the delegates passed out. Yeah, it did. I think there's some video out there. I'll try to post it online. But yeah, they're not having a great time at the hotel.
Well, that's fantastic. And you were freezing up a little bit during that segment, but you were saying, essentially, to sum it up, there's cockroaches, there was a portion of the building that fell off, and they're paying something like $300 a night for this?
Yeah, I think it's more than that. So luckily I'm at the Courtyard downtown for half the price.
Nice. Well, they should come and hang out with you. It sounds like it's a much better deal. Well, Ben, thanks so much. Any final thoughts on the technically second day of the DNC?
Yeah, well, I think, first of all, Michelle Obama is going to be, her speech is going to be looked at in contrast to what Ann Romney did on the first night of their convention. Romney had a very well-received speech, and so I think Michelle Obama is looking to do the same. And then Julian Castro, he's a big rising star in the party. He's only 37 years old, and these keynote addresses have a past of really getting somebody into the spotlight, and as was the case with Obama in the 2004 speech that really catapulted him into national prominence.
Well, Ben, thanks so much for joining us again today, and we are going to check in with you again tomorrow with all the latest from the DNC. And thank you for joining us for another edition of a special extra Political Empire.